Hello everyone, this is Gary, and today we're going to be looking at 8 tips for meetings. Well, 8 tips for meetings, but in the main, how to avoid them. And the fact is, you cannot avoid them. It's preferable if you can, but it is inevitable that there will be meetings in a work position that you have to go to. There's no easy way around that. And the fact is, meetings don't add to your productivity, they don't help with your work. Your work will still be there when you get back to your desk, whether you've been to the meeting or not, so why bother with meetings? Well, the fact is, a lot of businesses are driven by meetings, and in fairness, I would probably say there are 3 clear instances when meetings are pretty essential. The first one is where you are trying to create some new ideas, where you need some creativity, where part of your business strategy is to come up with new things, new ideas. And for that, it really works well to have people meeting, to have people together, communicating with each other. So that's clearly one good reason to have a meeting. The other 2 reasons are kind of linked. The second is that you want to communicate a message. And the third reason, you need to judge the level of feedback, the level of buy-in, the extent to which people are prepared to commit to whatever message or whatever jobs or activities you need them to undertake as a result of that message that you are communicating. So if you like, those are, I would say, 3 good reasons to have meetings, where the interaction of people is essential to what you want to achieve. Aside from that, well, as I've said before, you try to avoid meetings. Nevertheless, if you have to have a meeting, whether it's real or virtual, the fundamentals are always the same, and that's what we're going to cover in this short video. Now, I can hear so many of you, as always the case with my videos, saying, well look, please stop procrastinating, please just get on with it. Okay, we will. So, 8 tips for meetings, as I say in all good videos, with bated breath, let's just get into it. Okay, so let's get into it. We are looking at 8 tips for meetings. But the best tip of all is to avoid them. And always read the small print. So, top tips 1 to 4 are simply this: avoid them if possible. But if it's necessary, well, first find the purpose. So when is it necessary? I suggest it's most necessary when you need to find some creativity in the business, find some new ideas, or if you need to get some buy-in, you need people to collaborate, you need people to join in a common purpose. So first find the purpose. And if you've done that, then you must forecast the outcome before you get to the meeting. It does not mean that it is a foregone conclusion. It means simply that you have put some thought into the outcome of the meeting. And then you must see how it goes, particularly if you are engaging and wanting buy-in from others. But to give it the best chance, you must prepare the agenda so that everyone knows where you are going, where this will end up, and what is the journey on which you want to take them. So, some extras for tips 1 to 4. Some extra thoughts that go with those top tips. Will it help to meet off-site? Sometimes a meeting is in such a format and such a duration, and with people who are tired, jaded, not engaging, sometimes it will meet the needs, the purpose of the meeting to meet off-site. Think about that. If you're doing an agenda, there are some essentials. You've got to cover the topic, the location, people who's going to the meeting, the start and the end times, and identify any background papers. And try to give everyone a job so that everyone is involved. There will be a need for someone to take notes or minutes. There will be a need for someone to report back or to manage little groups if you have mini breakouts. There will be a need for someone to do the follow-up, the actions that follows through as a result of the meeting. Try to engage everyone in that process if you can. So, top tips 5 to 8. Simply this: facilitate the meeting, do not dominate it. It is still your meeting, so you lose nothing by allowing others to have their views. Indeed, what you are gaining is that they are more engaged in the process and engaged in a common purpose. At the end of the day, if it's still your meeting, well, it's your decision most likely, and it's going to be your purpose that will prevail. But you facilitate the meeting, you do not dominate the process, and you state the purpose at the outset so that everyone knows where you are going and what the likely outcome will be. And you try to give each person the last word. So if necessary, you go around that table where you're sitting and you try to get everyone's final view so that you have engaged with everyone. And where you've got note takers or people to follow through, you can best judge how to take all of that forward. Most important of all, I think, is you stick to the start and the end times, because everyone will love you if you finish on time. No one will love you, everyone will hate you if you are late starting or if you are late in finishing. So, a couple of extra points for those tips 4 to 8. How about standing up? Sometimes it helps a meeting if you have it standing up. I mean, that can be a little bit of a trendy thing to do. It may not suit everyone, or indeed it may not suit every meeting. But sometimes it makes a change if you're having a number of meetings and you want to get everyone a little bit more engaged, a bit more casual, a little bit of interest to what otherwise might be a not so interesting meeting. And do you need breakouts for new ideas? If the purpose is to try and generate some new ideas, then having a breakout where people engage in smaller groups and go to different rooms and bring back those ideas, that can be very helpful. And finally, just keep it very short. Meetings 10 minutes to 30 minutes maximum. A meeting that's run for an hour is a dead meeting where everyone in it is dying, if not already dead. You have to keep it very short. And believe me, it is as easy as that. Okay, so that was the 8 top tips for meetings. Although as always, it's better to avoid them. Nevertheless, if you're still with me on this video, thanks very much, and thank you very much for sticking with it. Now, just a quick reminder, we've looked at the need to find the purpose of a meeting, to try and forecast the outcome. We've looked at some of the extras that you can look at when you're preparing your agenda. It will help you make that meeting go even better. We've looked at those essentials around the topic, the location, the people, most important of all, the start and the end times of that meeting, and making sure any background papers have been provided in advance of the meeting. Now, where you're trying to get commitment or buy-in, we've also looked at the need to try and give everyone a job. And those are my top tips. Make sure you state the purpose of the meeting. You give everyone the last word, and you try and facilitate the meeting. After all, it is your meeting, you don't need to dominate it. And if you manage to do all those things, then your meeting will go really well. And believe me, it is as easy as that.